which you couldn't. So just leave it alone.
The problem I have with Rock of Ages, like there's like a game called Rock of Ages. Well, yeah, there's like a boulder game where you roll a boulder down to like attack gates and shit called Rock of Ages. Wasn't there another Rock of Ages video game where Jack Black was the character, or is that because you used to play that fucking game? But was it called Rock of Ages or something else?
No, it wasn't called Rock of Ages. Just basing on the
You know
name
what I'm
here.
talking about, though,
I
right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're like Jack Black, and you're running around with like a guitar and like killing shit with it, basically.
Yeah, and like Ozzy does a guest appearance. Lemmy's in the
Yeah,
fucking game. I think Rob Halford is in the game too.
yeah. For some reason, I thought it was called like Rock of Ages, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, no, no. It was Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend.
Yes.
See, I feel like that game should have been called Rock of Ages. I don't know why. Like, it all like mashes together in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just such a generic title, I guess.
I don't know. Like the only things I didn't really like about there were two things about that game that I didn't like. One of them was that one of the first armies that you fight is a bunch of like hair metal guys. I'm like, come on, man. Like
That's the lowest.
that's a slap in the fucking face, man. Like look, if you're gonna be about like, oh, the metal community, we got to be united. We're all together. Rock, rock, rock. Like, don't be like, well, except you guys. Just fuck off.
Yeah, seriously.
The other thing I didn't like about it was just there's a couple of escort missions in the game, and I'm just like, yeah, I fucking hate those levels.
Yeah, escort missions are always a pain. No
Yeah,
matter what game it is, it never matters. It sucks.
yeah, it's just
Even like GTA 3 where you have to like drive, people around and shit like that. Oh my God, like the taxi missions and shit like that.
oh yeah,
Fuck that, dude.
yeah.
And I love that game. That's a great game. Like Liz actually enjoys watching me play GTA 3 because she gets enjoyment out of like watching just the mayhem unfold. Like it's just a great game. Like it's timeless, really.
Yeah,
But yeah, those missions just suck. You know what sucks though is like I think that game or maybe it was San Andreas where like I literally couldn't complete it. Like I've beaten them on I think PlayStation 2 or the computer before, but I think it was my PS2 version of it. I think it was San Andreas. I got to a certain mission, the one like right before where you fly around the helicopters and blow shit up.
vaguely. I haven't played that game in years.
Okay, well, it was the mission like literally right before that, where for some reason like I'd walk in to go to the guy's office or whatever to go get the mission. I forget who it was even, and it would just freeze and die. Like and no matter what I did, I could never get back to get that mission. And if you can't get that mission, you can't finish the game because you don't
Shit.
you don't get the right line of quests. Some are optional, some are not, and that particular line wasn't. And I was
Jeez.
like, well, guess I'm done with this playthrough. Fuck that.
Speaking of video games, though, I've been doing this big cleaning project around the house, and I actually found my old Xbox that we used to have in college.
Nice.
And if I can get that working again, I think I still have Turtles in Time and the original Ninja Turtles video game, like the arcade game on the fucking hard drive. So if I can boot that up, man, I'm fucking bringing that over.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool. Yeah, we do have to figure out how to do like a play along kind of thing or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it
That'd
out.
be fun. Do like a separate little like channel.
Yeah, that'd be
Because I can
fun.
record us playing. Like I have a DVD recorder thing that we can use to record us playing virtually anything.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'd be very easy, man.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of games that I definitely want to kind of pop your cherry or kind of get your reaction on.
Right
Um,
on. I
yeah.
remember a few games I used to play that I didn't play, but I remember you playing like a Ninja Gaiden game that I really dug.
Yep. I think I still have that
Um,
somewhere around here.
was it like Ninja Gaiden Black or something
Yep.
like that? Yeah, that
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty pimp.
that was pretty pimp.
I remember you. This wasn't Xbox, but I remember you turned me on to the fucking what was that called? Oh, the Psycho Circus, Kiss Psycho Circus.
Yes, yes.
That game was actually surprisingly good for being about Kiss. Like you would think, oh, if it's going to be branded towards a game, like think about the Aerosmith game. Like I love Aerosmith, but are
Yeah,
you going
that
to play
game is
that
just
Aerosmith game?
yeah,
Hell.
yeah. Revolution,
So
yeah, Revolution X. Yeah, I still have that game.
exactly, like yeah. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, let's be honest, right? It kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's just yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
It's enter-
The soundtrack is awesome, but
oh yeah, it's entertaining as all get out, but it's not a good game. But that Kiss game is surprisingly entertaining. We would play the shit out of that game.
oh yeah,
I think we would even do like, doesn't it have like a deathmatch mode or something where you could play like against each other and shit, if I
I think,
remember?
yeah, I think so.
Because we would do that. We would do baseball,
Yep.
all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Good times, man. Good times.
We had a friendly rivalry back in the day.
Yeah. I think. Oh God, I remember one time where it wasn't even like a friendly rivalry. It was just I was pissed off about something, and he was like, "Hey man, come on, you want to play a quick game of fucking like." I think it was like NHL hits like 2002 or 2003, something like that. Like, come on, man, just play a quick game for me. Dude, I think I ended up like kicking the shit out of you like 12-2
Oh,
or something like that. And just
yeah, I remember that. That was brutal.
you just look at me like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Put down the controller and walk away.
Seriously, it was really like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
You were just like, all right, I'm not playing it for a while.
I was like, shit, I gotta brush up.
It's like, shit. Did I just get Brooklyn Brawler?
Pretty much.
Like,
Pin me, pay me. Holy crap.
like you just did a. So yeah, Bruce did a job for me back then. Oh man,
Uh,
he put me over. He put me over like a son of a bitch.
not even knowing it.
Yeah,
It was really more like you shot on me.
yeah.
You
Like the only,
fucking, you were the William Regal to my Bill Goldberg.
oh
Here I am
god.
trying to spear you and just pin you, and you're like, fuck no, fucking arm lock,
No,
bitch.
dude, that match would have been more like fucking Brock Lesnar versus like Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah. Picks him up and eats him.
Like the only thing that would have been missing would have been like just Paul Heyman walking into the room. My client, Andrew Moss, is going to destroy you, Bruce Gates. And after he is done doing that, you are going to thank him. Because when he is done kicking your ass, it will be over. And he will no longer be kicking your ass. It will be done. And then you say thank you, and you go home, and you don't come back.
I love his shoots, like talking about the conspiracy with the Undertaker thing and the Lesnar match. Have you seen that?
I don't think I have, no.
Oh, it's pretty badass, man. I don't know if I believe it, but he talks about like, imagine that you are Brock Lesnar and you're told that you have to lose to the Undertaker, but you're like coming up, sort of your star is on the rise,
Yeah.
and you don't want to lose because you're Brock Lesnar, and there is nobody in that locker room who can stop you from winning this match, who can stop you from taking the Undertaker, knocking him out, pulling his leg and counting the three right there and just taking it from him and from everybody. And you know what's great about it is they can't fire you because now you're the guy that everybody's going to be talking about. You're the guy that broke the streak. So what if on that night, on the first WrestleMania of the network, Brock Lesnar decided he wasn't going to lose and that he was just going to take his victory because he knew he could? I was like, holy fucking shit. Like my eyes and like my jaw hit the floor, dude. I was like, that could happen. It was like Kennedy or something, or go the Kurt Cobain conspiracy all over again. I was like, it could happen.
Yeah, in
But
in
I don't think it
theory,
did.
like in theory, like yeah, I could see that playing out.
But I don't think it did. I think it was just an accident and shit happened,
No.
honestly. I'm sure it was all planned and everything. So I mean, but it just goes to show you like how that guy, how Heyman can talk. He can convince you of anything. Like he could convince me that my mother is my father. I'm sure.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, he's definitely got
He could
the old
talk.
he's definitely got the old silver tongue going for him. But I mean, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Oh man, but fuck no.
I didn't come here to tell you that.
No. But I'm kind of glad you did bring up pro wrestling because we were talking off the air a little bit about there's a new rivalry going
Yeah. Speaking of rivalries and speaking of wrestling,
on.
this is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting one, and I'm so for those that don't know, there's been a Twitter feud for I think at least a day or two between Chris Jericho and the former singer for Skid Row, Sebastian Bach, and
Also, former star of the Gilmore Girls.
Trailer Park Boys. Um,
By the way, I love Twitter feuds. I think they're the most petty and ridiculous things ever, but
They're petty, but
Go on.
sometimes you gotta have to get a kick out of them.
Yeah, you do, especially when you're, the spectator.
Yeah, you're on the outside looking in. You're just like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, you just put your hand up on your chin, your chin
just
up on your hands and just watch.
just sit back, eat some popcorn. You're just like, shit's going
Yeah,
down.
like you're waiting for the pie to be done baking and you're laying in front of the oven.
Exactly. Uh, so yeah, let me bring up because I don't want to misquote anything like that. Um,
There are some gems.
oh, there are some gems. So basically, the way that it started was there was a fan who tweeted to Sebastian Bach, basically saying that like the longer essentially saying like the longer that he goes, the longer the more Chris Jericho starting to look like Sebastian Bach.
Hmm.
And Sebastian replies with, every single day for the last 2 or 3 years, somebody tells me this. Um, so somebody else replied to him like, "You partied too much. Jericho has you beat." Bach comes back with, he definitely does, considering he minds to a tape,
Which
which
is the first like, oh.
which yeah, which if you're like a musician, like that's like shots fired.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I
um,
mean, unless you've already come out and admitted as much. Like there are some people who are like, yeah, I use a tape. And then if you're like, they use a tape, they're like, yep, I already said that.
yeah,
So, but in this case, like, I'm pretty sure there's been no sort of muttering or of any kind about Jericho or Fozzy using tape live. I mean, the thing is, a lot of bands, most things that you see live are probably using a pre-recording of some kind,
yeah,
no matter who
like
they are.
yeah, like I know Motley Crue, like Nikki Sixx came out and said like, yeah, we use some backing tapes sometimes, for some songs and whatnot. Um, which yeah, he kind of caught some flack for because like, yeah, you're using the tracks, but he's like, at least we're admitting it. Yeah, he's like,
Right.
for the most part, yeah, we're playing live, but there are
It's
some
to make the
parts.
show better for
Yeah,
the audience.
yeah, he's like, just it's kind of like just to enhance it a little bit. So I'm like, all right. I mean, at least he's being honest about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I honestly have no issue with it if it helps to bolster. Because here's the other thing too: is this is something I only learned recently is that like the records that you listen to, even think of like Led Zeppelin or like old school records from like the 60s and 70s, when you're hearing drums, like you would think that you're just hearing the sound of the drums like as they were recorded. There might be some EQ tweaks or maybe they put some reverb or effects on it or whatever. But aside from that, you're probably thinking like, okay, that's basically just the instrument, right?
yeah,
But the thing is, it's especially prevalent now, but it happened even back then. They would sample in like other drum sounds, like from other kits or whatever, and mix it in and sort of tweak it a little bit and sort of just like emphasize like the snare maybe or get the kick drum a little more rounded out. Like even back on Nirvana's Nevermind, they would essentially insert samples over the regular quote unquote regular equipment instrument so it would bolster the sound. So I mean, it's nothing new, and it happens even on recording. So I don't really have a problem with it if it's going to bolster the sound. The thing is, like, just be transparent about it. Just be like, yeah, you know what, we do that, but if we didn't, it wouldn't sound the way it does on the record. So if you want to see the show that you want to see, that we presume that you want to see because you came to listen to our music the way you hear it, then we have to do it this way. So
yeah. But like my issue with it is like that bands that would come out like Kiss a couple of years ago, when they were doing the press conference to announce a new tour and whatnot. They're saying this is going to be 100% live, not like Rihanna, Shmiana, whatever you call her name, but this is going to be 100% live, no faking anything.
hmm.
And then you go and see their show, and you're just like, dude, they are clearly like fucking singing to a track here. Like you listen to Paul, you listen to Gene, like they're singing to a fucking track.
Yeah, see, well, that's one thing too that to be clear, is I think the vocals, for the most part, should be live. Like I've seen Rush before, and Rush, I think I told you this, where they like Alex, who's the guitarist, he doesn't really sing, probably because he's not a very good singer, I would imagine, but he chooses whatever for whatever reason not to sing. So he has a microphone set up, and when he sings into it, it triggers basically it's Geddy's voice, but it seems to sort of like you have a trigger elsewhere, like on a drum kit or something, you can hit, it'll trigger a different sound. It seems like what happens is Alex starts singing the line, and that registers a trigger somewhere to say, hey, play these backing vocals that Geddy pre-recorded.
Yeah,
Like, I'm okay with that because Alex can't do it, and Geddy can't double himself. That's physically impossible. So the only way to do that and to have those echoed vocals would be to use a recording. But hey, at least it's technically quote unquote being played because someone has to trigger it.
Yeah.